Hey everybody, Master here, back with Diablo 3, and I got the Crusader by request, and she was pretty fun. A little bit tricky because you're basically have a lot of skills on some pretty long cooldowns for the game. Some of them quite excessive, other ones not so terrible. So I kind of go along the ones that aren't so terrible. There's a couple strong builds out there. If you have a lot of DPS, that you can do an extreme burst build where you're just spamming hammers, and those hammers will destroy things for about 4 seconds. Not my cup of tea. I'd rather, I'm always in the sustained long haul. In a lot of the big fights, you're not going to really be able to kill too much within 4 seconds. Although, like I said, if you have that high DPS, you can really burn it down fast. They do some sick things with the people that were able to exploit some of those tricks and gear themselves out. So, my build is a Heaven's Tempest build. It's based off of Heaven's Tempest, basically. And I always hit P. All you Marvel Hero people out there. And Heaven's Tempest is a Fist of the Heavens rune. You can actually use whatever Fist of the Heavens rune you like. I switch back and forth from time to time. There's several good ones. Retribution's a nice direct damage one. Fissure and Divine Well. They all work very well. Heaven's Tempest is about the easiest one if you're not looking to burn out on your Wrath. And it puts down a nice little area that deals 150% weapon damage to everything in it per second for 5 seconds. Fissure is very fun. You have to double tap the fissures though. And you have to put them a little bit spaced in between each other, so you get this little static arc that bounces between them, and then you get serious damage out of those as well. But then, like I said, you have to be prepared to double tap on them. I'm using Smite with Shared Fate. What Shared Fate does is anytime that anything that's hit by the chains goes further than 15 yards away from each other, they get snared for 2 seconds. I just had to make sure it was 15 yards. And it's very nice to control things that like to fly away from you. Very nice. Won't do much against bosses like, the Butcher, like you'll see, but very good there. And then offensively, I'm using Phalanx with Bowman. It's a very short cooldown compared to other things that he has. It's still 15 seconds, but they're up for 5 seconds, so you can pop them up again pretty quickly. And they do decent damage. There's 4 Bowmans, so it's basically 340% weapon damage, I think a second, for 5 seconds. Then I'm doing the standard Heaven's Fury Ascendancy. This is probably the most popular rune picked because it hits a little bit of a wider area, and it does a pretty good damage. Last 6 seconds, 1680 weapon rate damage. It's preferred rune. I use Consecration with Shattered Ground. This is a longer cooldown, 30 seconds. However, it's up 10 seconds. It heals you for 8,253 life per second while you stand in it. So it has a potential of giving you almost, almost 85,000, 82,000 health for the duration. It lasts 10 seconds. So basically, there's 20 seconds downtime on it, and it also does 950% weapon damage while it's up to anything that's standing in it while it's up. So there's a little bit of conditional on it, but it's kind of DPS and sustainability, so that's why I like it. And then finally, Falling Sword Rise Brothers. Probably a popular pick for a lot of people. Pretty good DPS from the Rise Brothers. You get 3 of them for 5 seconds, basically 1500% weapon damage. And it has a 30-second cooldown again. I, however, do not use this offensively. I save it till I'm in a position where I don't like to be in, and then I will basically teleport myself out of that position, and the brothers will rise up and rush out to anything that's trying to rush to me and give me time to regroup, recuperate, and you know, just basically figure out how I want to re-deal with the situation that I'm in. So it's basically, for me, a oh no button, and gives me time to recuperate from whatever problem just arose. And that's basically the build. Gearing, I've done everything that I've normally done. Being strength-based, you don't have to worry about armor so much on gear as you have to worry about resistance. As you can see, I've gone for resistance on the gems here. Except for the head, I went for the life, just for the toughness value. I almost hit my goal of 200,000 damage and 10,000 or 10 million toughness. Maybe a little bit low on the healing. You gotta back up everything with healing also. Don't ignore it. If you're not healing anything, you know, you're not gonna make up the damage that's coming through. You're gonna take damage, so you gotta have a way to recuperate it. I do have a little bit of a way to recuperate it in the background, in the fact that the weapon does have life gain per wrath spent, so there's a little bit of hidden healing there. You can also take the passive that does it. I didn't. Passively speaking, you can do the passives that you prefer. However, the passives I prefer is Righteousness, because I'm also using Heavenly Strength, so I can use my two-handed weapon. I haven't found a one-handed weapon that really compares yet. So that's how I'm getting that high DPS right now. And because I'm doing a slower attack speed, I find the 3 extra Wrath and attack to be very beneficial, especially if you want to do a Wrath burn build. You can get extra Wrath this way while using a two-hander. I'm doing Vigilant basically for that 5% less non-physical damage taken. That's awesome against packs and everything that drop all that stuff on the ground, and you know, when it gets messy, it's a little bit less messy, and you get 2,000 life per second. And Holy Cause, that's 10% extra damage on the weapon, and it's counted as holy damage. So every time you attack, you basically gain 1% of your life. That's some extra healing coming through. So that's very nice. And you know, when you have 500,000 health almost, 1% is 5,000 health. That's pretty substantial. Another reason to go one-handed, to get faster attacks. And that's to build. And going back to gearing, like I said, try to stack as high as possible your resist all, as the armor is going to be stacking itself fairly easy. We have no resistance passives at all, and not too many other choices for resistance. Lots of choices for armor and everything, but being strength based, you know, all your strength is armor anyways, so you don't really need armor as much as you need the resistance. So all my gear has resist all, resist all, resist all. Well, that doesn't have it, but resist all, resist all, resist all. There's not a lot of it there. Resist all on the shield, and that's how I got my resist all up so high, 1048. But as you can see, my first damage check is going to go against armor, which is going to reduce damage by 78.83%, and then the damage that gets through gets reduced again by another 74.96%, and then if it's non-physical damage, it's going to get reduced by 5% because of the passive. So that's how the damage comes through. And then, of course, the block gets checked first, but, you know, it's not really a substantial way of maintaining damage controls by blocking. Torment 1 might be adequate, but anything past Torment 1 blocks really aren't going to do much. 485,000 health. I do have 10,000 life per second, so it's basically 2% of my life's getting regenerated a second. I do have almost 4,000 life per hit. That will help. Some life per kill. That will help with packs. And that's really it. 1.4 attack speed, not bad with a two-handed weapon. And that's all I'm doing. So I'll go ahead and go kill a butcher with her. And if you're wondering what I'm doing with the Templar, I do anything that can heal me, charge and interrupt, rush to my aid and heal me. I mean, that's a huge heal, 140k. So that helps out dramatically. I am lucky with a couple legendaries. This one right here is pretty awesome. Prevents all arcane damage and heals myself for that. So an arcane orb pack is nothing for me. This actually rolled with phalanx damage, so that's pretty awesome. And gladiator gauntlets. All I have to do is get a massacre bonus and I get some extra money. I like that. And it's got strength, vitality. Don't forget that you can go to the Enchantress and reroll stats. So even if you get something that looks pretty ugly, it's actually preferable that you roll something with vitality and cruddy stat, as long as it's a primary stat, because then you can re-roll that cruddy stat, and like say it's maybe life on hit isn't your favorite stat, but you get vitality. You can re-roll it to strength, and then you can give it to somebody else and re-roll it to intellect, and you can pass that along. That's how I prefer to get them. I got the puzzle ring, band of hollow whispers. That's about it. The rest of it's really well rolled yellows. Those are really good yellows. Oh, Halls of Agony. So, being the Crusader, in this option, there's no buffs to cast. I don't use any of the laws. Those would cast themselves anyways. So yeah, this time event, I'm going to start using Rise Brother offensively. Oh, it's not time event. Or I failed it. So actually, for the trash, I'll go with Fizzer, because it'll burn trash faster. And that's the lightning art. It's very nice. But that's what I mean. You usually need to have enough wrath to have two of those out. See, they keep stunning themselves. It's awesome. It's a lesser damage rune for Smite, but the stun is phenomenal, especially when there's teleporting away. They actually teleport out of the room. No, we didn't get him. And then the other rune, Retribution, is basically a direct damage rune. But that's why I actually prefer going between Fissure for the packs and Heaven's Fist or Heaven's Tempest for the bosses. With Tempest for the boss because usually there's only one mob and it's just easier. I don't think there's another way over there, is there? But as you can see, you can drop those and get this big arcing lightning bolts that just tear through everything. 200k. So much crafting with all the characters getting to 70. Oh, nice, very good. For Paragons, I just put points in wherever I'm lacking. So I'm lacking DPS, so I go Strength, and I go Attack Speed, because it's a two-hander. Obviously, Attack Speed's going to pay out best for me. Plus, it's the best payout in points. You get 0.2 instead of 0.1 with crit. And I go Resist All, because it's what I'm lacking the most in. I got tons of hit points, so I don't need life. I need resistance. And then I went life per hit because I need regeneration. I don't have a lot of health income. I only got at somewhere around 20k. You gotta regenerate your health. It's kind of funny that it looks like the Goblin's dropping the gold, but the Goblin isn't. It's actually my other, my gloves. If I get a Massacre bonus, I get gold from the Gladiator gauntlets. The Goblin picks up white items, and every 15 white items that he picks up, he drops a yellow. So he's pretty cool. dagger. Look at that later. Hopefully that rolls the utilitarian stats I was talking about, so I can just roll primary stats. And because it's the boss, I'm going to switch over to the Heaven's Tempest. Easier to sustain the damage. Or you could do direct damage, but it's personal preference. He doesn't move around a lot. You could also change your main attack rune to a more DPS rune. I probably should have. Now, I already know I'm not going to be in trouble, so I can be offensive with my Falling Sword. Even though my Falling Sword I slot for the primary purpose of it being defensive, as long as I know I'm okay, you can turn that around and make it offensive. And that's the butcher. Real easy. It's real easy because my resistances, my toughness, my armor, my health, my healing, everything is synergetic. Everything is supporting each other. Everything backs itself up. So, that's it. And that's Heaven's Tempest in a nutshell. Really, really strong against bosses. That's why I use it. Love it. Don't need to burst anything. Don't need to burst my own bubble. Just need to be able to sit there and survive the fight and sustain my own DPS. It works wonders. So hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to everybody later. Oh, you want to know what the dagger was? Okay. That looks familiar to me, but I forgot what it's called. The Barber. I think that's one of the new ones. Wow. Massive toughness gain, massive DPS loss, though. Well, there you go. That's what the new Barber. I think. I wonder if that only drops in the Butcher's zone. Don't know. So, like I said, hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll talk to everyone later.